Do you want to add a special language to your game? In this video, I'm going to show you how I designed a custom font for my game and added it to Unity. It's way easier than you think, so stick around. So the first thing you need to do here is to create your alphabet in the vector editor of your choice. For me, it's Affinity Designer, but it could be Adobe Illustrator, Inkscape, or any other one. Then you will need to download FontForge. This is the piece of software we are going to use to create our custom font. Once you open it, you will be prompted this window with all of the characters. So here's what you're going to do. We are just going to copy the first character and paste it onto FontForge. But you need to make sure that you copy your image as an SVG, so as a vector file, not as a simple image. In Affinity Designer, here's how you do it. After that, what we can do is also rename our font. So let's select Element, Font Info, and at the top, you can change the name of your font. Okay, once you've pasted your character onto FontForge as a vector graphics, here are the things you need to be aware of. In FontForge, you've got a baseline, a maximum descent line, and a maximum ascent line. Make sure that your characters are above the baseline, except if you have some characters like G or J and so on. In this case, you will need the descent line. If you've got characters that have a big descent, what you can do is select Font Info, and in the General tab, you can edit your ascent and descent. Okay, once your character is set up correctly, what we are going to do is move the right side bearing a bit closer to the end of the character. This is what's going to mark the spacing between your characters, and you'll have to do that for each and every character. Quick tip here, from time to time, try and export your font just to see how it's going to render. Another quick tip here, if you've got some symmetry or rotations between your characters, what you can do is rotate the previous ones to save time. Okay, let's test it out. Awesome. Once you're done editing or creating all of your characters, export your font, install it, and give it a shot in your vector graphics software. There you go. Awesome. We're going to save so much time now in Unity adding our lore. After this step, I must admit that I did have fun writing a bunch of stuff to see how my new alphabet rendered, and it was so much cooler than I expected. Okay, on to Unity now. After adding the font to Unity, what you want to do is right-click and select Create Font Asset in the Text Mesh Pro tab. There you go. Before creating the text, what you can do is select your project settings, Text Mesh Pro, Settings, and set the default font asset. That way, whenever you create a text, it's going to use your custom font by default. Let's give it a shot. And of course it's working. Woo, so cool. Okay, at one point I had an issue here. My space character was not detected correctly because I did not add it. If you haven't done this step, let's jump back to FontForge. Just open this character, the space one. It's going to be a diamond with a question mark on it. Move the right side bearing to the desired length. So it's going to be the length of your space character, and export the font again. Now it's working properly. Awesome. So we are now done with the tutorial part. Now let me just show you what I've done with this. So I've created a stone that's going to be at the center of the village. Unfortunately, I can't show you yet what's going to be written on it because it would actually spoil the whole game or part of it. So here's how I made it in Blender really quickly. I've put some text on it that you're going to discover again while playing the game. And for the conversation between the player and the characters, I've taken inspiration from Zelda Breath of the Wild. So you are basically going to have some text for the dialogue along with the name of the character who's speaking. For the logic, in this game, I really don't want a bunch of UI. I really want it to be as smooth or simple as possible. So here's what I've done. Whenever you collide with a citizen, you trigger the conversation mode. So whenever we collide with something, we check if this is a citizen or not. If this is the case, are we controlling the spaceship right now or not? If we are controlling the spaceship, then we can jump to the next step. We lock the spaceship, so we basically turn it into a kinematic rigid body, change the state to the discussing state, and trigger an action. That action will be called by the conversation manager to start the conversation. So here's how the inspector looks like for the citizen. We can imagine the citizens having a bunch of sentences that they are going to say whenever we collide with them. I kept it really simple, so along with the name. And here's how it looks like in-game. Really cool. I love it. If you want to learn more about game dev, make sure to check out my courses at udemy.com/user/tapsil to check out my courses. I've already helped thousands of students. So give it a shot and use this promo code for a nice discount. If you like the video, subscribe, like, and see you in the next one. Cheers!